Wow, we've got a lot of fun stuff to do today. This is the day we jump into the package bee that I installed to monitor it, to see its progress. Today we're going to insert a green drone comb into that new package. We're going to see how far they've advanced. I've also brought along some small hive beetle traps. So I got some vegetable oil and some traps. And we're going to do one other thing, so stay tuned to the video. This is going to be an interesting experiment I'm going to do with this package and one of the frames. Let's get started. So I've got the feeder on here. Let's see how much they've eaten in a week. Shouldn't have to smoke that. Shouldn't be any bees up here. Oh my gosh. They dwaned it. Look at that. We put a mark on it. Right there was May the 22nd. And today is Friday. I didn't get to look at them yesterday. It was raining a little bit. So it's been about 8 days. And this is a half-gallon jar. They've consumed that much in 8 days, which is going to be good. Now, we have a lot of things we want to look at. This is, for a reminder, if you're just watching this video and you don't realize this is a series of videos, we sell packages every year. So I always like to keep a package and watch its progress, and I decided to do it like a brand new beekeeper would, by putting undrawn foundation and just monitoring the growth. So that's what we're doing on this unique hive. So we'll take off our little feeder board here. All right, so they are taking food. A lot of you ask, how long should you feed bees if there's nectar sources out there? Right now we have a lot of clover, we have a lot of black honey trees that are blooming. So technically you could get by with trusting natural resources, but in this case I'm still wanting to feed them to get that comb drawn out. All right, so let's take this little feeder board off. This feeder board is something I invented a long time ago to feed bees in the spring and in the fall. It helps a lot. Get a little smoke on them underneath that feeder board. It's got 2 places for jars and 1 for a pollen patty if you want to push a pollen patty in. And here are some of the bees that are hanging out on top. I like to glance, make sure the queen's not up there. I have found her up there once. Kind of rare, but it can happen. Now look at what we have here. Last week we did some changing, so this is something we did a while back. I corrected some columns that they were building wonky comb, and then I checkerboarded it a week ago. So this had nothing on it, and I put it in between a couple of frames that were drawn out, and I've been checkerboarding. I did 2 last week. I did this one, 522, and I did this one. So we'll see, did they go ahead and pull those out in the last week. And what we're going to do today, we also can see that we have enough frames drawn out in there that it's definitely time for us to add our second deep box. So I'm excited we're going to add our second deep. So stay tuned. I want to show you my secret trick to adding that second deep to get them to go up there faster. Okay, so let's start over here on this frame closest to the wall, which they're not over here yet. And this will be easier to get that out of the way. This is red wax that I did an experiment with, if you're wondering. Yeah. Okay, let's smoke them. The reason I'm smoking them is because I can see there's a lot of bees that are looking at me. Their heads are facing up. So I always feel like they're kind of wondering, hey, what's going on? So let's see what this frame looks like. We've been battling some wonky comb on some frames that did not have good wax foundation on them. Yep. Okay, so this looks good. We do notice a queen cell on the lower corner over here. And so we're not going to really do much with that just yet, except we do want to come back and look at it. But first we're going to look for the queen and look for everything else. So this is a frame that looks great, and not much activity on that side yet. All right, let's keep scooting across. We got a little room to slide our frames. All righty. And I'm thankful to have my friend and videographer, Patrick. He's back in the saddle filming today. That's great. Okay. Here's a nice comb that has a variety of, let me look real quick. Yeah, it's got a lot of eggs and larvae in the ones that have emerged. So it kind of looks spotty, but it's not. It's like they're emerging. Okay, same over here. I see eggs that are laying down. So we had a queen yesterday or the day before that laid those eggs. So we're going to make sure that she's still there. There's a big drone for takeoff. I heard him rev up his engines. Drones are louder. Okay, so this is checkerboarding. This is the frame I put in, and I put this in last week. It's an acorn frame, double-coated wax frame. Put it in between two drawn-out frames. Let's see, maybe it's not an acorn frame because it's got my red wax on it. So I'm going to take that back. Yeah, it's one that I coated with red wax. Looks good. Over here, not bad, but starting. Will they fill all that in? We'll see. We'll keep this going, but I wouldn't call this wonky comb, but maybe they'll fill all the spaces in as they keep drawing that out. Alrighty, I see eggs and larvae. The queen is laying in anything she can find, it looks like. Cool to work bees on a nice day like that. All right, now this is a beautiful frame of almost all stages of brood. It's starting to be capped over, but the larvae pearly white, and I see a lot of eggs just a little bit below where you see all the larvae. So this is a good brood frame here. Okay, let's see the other side here. Yep, capped over pupae. And then eggs and larvae below the capped over pupae. So this hive has a lot of brood in it. It's hard to get that to turn out, isn't it, Pat?
Yeah, I get too close and the shadow gets in the way.
Yeah. All right, the next frame coming up for your entertainment is one that I put in there last week. And it is a comb. It is a frame that I put red wax on. And I put it in between these two that were already drawn out to see if we could checkerboard in the brood area and get them to draw that out in 1 week. What they do in a week. Ooh, I like it. Yep, they've drawn it out rather nicely. You can see they use my red wax that I rolled on in a previous video, and they've drawn it out. All right, let me see the other side here. Yeah, nicely drawn out. So checkerboarding that brood area worked great, and there's our queen with the blue dot. Looking around at the red wax. She's trying to decide if red and blue makes a good combination, I guess. All right, so we have our queen, everything's good. That makes us want to go back and look at that queen cell that we saw on the first frame. But let's go ahead and look at the rest of these frames while we're in here. Yeah, aren't these bees really nicely behaved today? If you learn how to work bees and the right time of the day to do it, you can get by with the bees being very gentle. So they're out foraging today. It's a beautiful day, and we're being calm and slow motion and using smoke. There's another queen cell there. A lot of eggs and larvae filling up those holes as well. So we have a good brood pattern on some of the other frames. Let's look at the other side. Another queen cell over here, and we would call that a supersedure up tall. So while we're here, let's just go ahead and open it up. They can build another one if they need to because they have eggs. Empty. Nobody home. Like emergency cell, just in case they need the superseder. Sometimes you find these emergency cells, superseder cells around the hive. Let's see if this one's empty. Like I said, if it's not, they can always raise one really fast within a day. I don't think there's anything in there either. Bone dry. So we'll probably find that to be the case on the first one we pulled up. They just go ahead and make a little home in case they do need to raise a queen in a hurry. All right, let's get some more smoke on there. And here in Illinois, we have been battling not the perfect spring. We've had wind and rain and all kind of challenges to gardening and beekeeping. Ooh, nice. Nicely drawn out. Doesn't look like the queen has been over here just yet, but it's ready. Those cells have been worked and dried out, ready for her to lay in. And she's been on this one. Now this is interesting for those of you that are new. You can see this is capped over brood pupae here. And then right adjacent to it, we have pollen and different colored pollen. Usually you don't see that, but bees do strange things. Over here you have the honey. They've been capped over some honey. So on this frame you have capped over brood, you got capped over honey, and you've got some pollen they've gathered. And nothing drawn out. The next frame is drawn out, but there's nothing on it. No bees. So we're going to go ahead and do our thing. So what we're going to do now is we need to put in a green drone comb. The green drone comb is used to trap mites, and I'm going to move it to the top deep eventually, but right now most of the brood is down here, so I'm going to put it in the lower deep to help me trap mites. So let's do that first. That's going to be an important thing to do. Kind of considering, let me think. I'm wanting to do a special experiment, and I'm going to see if I can work that in. I can. Okay, great. So here's what I want to show you. Okay, so here's the green drone comb, and the way this works is you put it in, they draw it out. The queen lays only male drones in it, and the viral destructor mite is attracted to lay her progeny in the capped pupae of drone cells. And so that's what we're doing. We're baiting all the viral mites to get on this frame, and once it's about 3/4 capped over, we're going to take it inside and freeze it. It may take us a week or two to get that to happen. And so we're going to put it in this bottom deep. And I like to put it about 3 frames over from where the wall is. And so you can see, I always say if 5 or 7 of these frames are drawn out, it's time to add our second deep. And we've got that now. We've got a good amount of bees on enough frames to add our second deep. That's real important. And so we're going to put this green drone comb in the bottom, and we're going to put it right here. I'm going to swap it with this one. Yeah, that'll work. And I'll let them start drawing that out, and we'll make a note on that. Now, this is one I need to put. All right, here's my secret. The secret is that when you add your second deep, put something up there that already has larvae on it, that it would attract the nurse bees. So already this frame does have eggs and larvae on it. So this is going to be the frame we're going to put up above. That's going to be fun. All right, so I'm going to set that aside. Well, I can go ahead and put it in my box now. Here's my box. So we're going to put it right in the middle of this. You know, this has undrawn foundation on it, so we're going to put that about right here. Maybe one over. There we go. Yeah, be perfect there. So that's what is going to make up our top deep. One frame of eggs and larvae, and so the bees down below feel obligated to go ahead and come up here and start working that. But I want to do one more cool, fun thing. And what I want to do, see if I've can make this happen. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 10 over there. Okay, here it is. Here's a frame that they haven't started drawing out much yet. And Patrick actually said it'd be a fun experiment to try that. So I thought, why not? So what we're going to do, if it doesn't work out, we can blame Patrick. I'm in front of my own camera. So what we're going to do is take the foundation out like this. It's propolized. And we're going to actually put it in the hive to see what will happen, how they will draw this foundation out, okay? So they're going to make their own wax comb on this frame. And we're going to put it in an active area right here between two frames that are already drawn out very nicely. Okay? Let's smoke them. And you would not want to put more than one of these side by side, because if you do, you put a whole deep box full of undrawn, no foundation at all, they can run their foundation this way. But since they've already got the pattern established going that way, putting this one in there is going to force them to actually do it the correct distance. And spacing is going to be hopefully just right. Let's open up a little gap here where we can get it down in between these frames. There we go. That'll do it. Yeah. Perfect. Last time I used a marker, the bees didn't like the smell of my magic marker. Hopefully they will. So we'll call this, let me check my date. Is it the
30th?
All right. We got May the 30th, 25, and this is we'll say foundationless. No foundation. And we'll see what happens with that. One thing to remember before you finish up in your deep box like this, what we want to do is make sure all the frames are nicely centered in the middle of the box. So you can see there's a gap right here, and that would possibly create a problem. And so we want to make sure when we're pushing everything back that we kind of even the frames up so that there's an equal gap off of each wall, which is about a finger thickness. See, that's perfect. The frames are tight together toward the middle. And now we can put our next deep on. Watch out, little bee. There you go. Okay, so the only thing we've really done here is giving them just a whole bunch of undrawn foundation. And we placed this frame here that they've started to pull out, not 100% yet, but it did have eggs and larvae on it. So that's going to force bees to come up here and take care of this. So we're baiting the bees down below to start coming up here and drawing out frames and all. So now we need to even the frames out like this as well. Just kind of tighten them up in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A little piece there is missing on that frame. We'll have to guess at the location. Get that one pushed over here, that one pushed over there. All right, you just kind of push them like that, see? Perfect. Now we're going to put the feeder back on because it may turn out to be a rainy spell, even though they have plenty of nectar sources out there. They're still drawing out a lot of their own foundation, as you know, so we need to put that feeder back on, and it's almost empty. Where did it go? Here it is. We just have a little drink at the bottom, but it'll last until I can get another one on here. There we go. Yeah, they guzzled a lot of that in a week. Amazing. So I put this around the feeder jar. That way I can change it out. It protects rain from coming in there. Put your top on. And we have to put a brick on it to hold it down. Use your muscles and work out a little bit. All right, that was fun, friends. Now, if you want to see a video that I made to help you guys discover all the things you should be doing in the month of June, watch June Tips right over here. See you over there.